Today I'm going to be reviewing the Google Pixel 3a in 2020. This phone came out more than a year ago and the smartphone landscape has changed so much. Samsung has great budget options, the iPhone SE just came out, the Google Pixel 4a is just around the corner, just weeks away. So if you're somebody who is in need of a new budget smartphone purchase, it's going to be a very confusing one, and hopefully this video today can provide you some clarity on whether or not the Pixel 3a is worth it in 2020. All budget smartphones need to make sacrifices. It's why they're cheaper than their more expensive counterparts, and the Pixel 3a is no exception to that. The first sacrifice that the Pixel 3a made was with the actual body of the phone. It's not made of glass at all. It's made of a cheaper polycarbonate. Yes, it does feel a little bit more plasticky. Yes, it does feel a little bit more cheap. But for most of us, we're going to be putting a case on this anyways, so I don't think it's something you should care about. And to be honest with you, I might be one of the few people in this boat, but I actually like the feeling of the phone. It does feel nice to touch in the hand, in my opinion. If you are picky about phone design, I can tell you that if you have the Pixel 3a and the Pixel 3 side by side, it's really hard to tell the difference between the two. Given the polycarbonate design, that does mean no wireless charging. I didn't say this phone was perfect. I do wish it had wireless charging, but again, it's only $399. The glass of the phone is not made of a Gorilla Glass. It's actually made of a Dragon Trail glass that they call it. I personally can't really tell the difference between the Gorilla Glass and the Dragon Trail glass. It looks fine to me, and the durability on this cheaper glass is pretty good. I've dropped this phone plenty of times face first onto the ground and I've had no issues. Texture of the glass feels fine. I cannot tell the difference between the texture of this glass and the texture of the Pixel 3. This is the Pixel 3, this is the Pixel 3a. I can't. No difference. I don't see a difference. Pixel 3a also doesn't have the highest resolution display on the market, but it still does pack an OLED panel on top, still has really vibrant, color accurate colors in my opinion. The only thing that bothers me about the display of the phone is that it doesn't get very bright, especially outside. And this problem isn't just exclusive to the Pixel 3a, it's actually something that's a problem for all Google phones. They just don't have bright screens. I don't know why Google doesn't do it. I'll put a chart on screen right now. Google Pixel phones have been quoted to have the least brightest displays in any smartphone. Another trade-off with a cheaper body is that there's no water resistance. So that kind of is somewhat of a big deal because we do use our phone in the rain and we do might use it when we're coming out of the shower or something. Just be more mindful, I guess. It's a pretty easy fix. Just be mindful with how you use your phone. Fingerprint Reader is on the phone and it's incredibly accurate. There's a front-facing 8 megapixel camera and a rear-facing 12 megapixel camera, and it's actually the exact same camera system on the Pixel 3 and a very similar camera system to the Pixel 4, making this phone the best stills camera in any smartphone at $399, and B, the best stills, or arguably actually the best stills camera in any smartphone in any price range. The camera on this thing is amazing, and I'll talk more about it later on in this video. The next sacrifice that Google made with the Pixel 3a is in performance. You're not getting the highest end specs. You're getting a Snapdragon 670 with just about 4 gigabytes of RAM. Here's the deal with this. From my experience, if you're somebody who primarily just consumes content on their phone, may it be YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and also uses their phone to connect with people through social media, as well as maybe some light gaming, the Pixel 3a, it checks all those boxes. It can do all those things extremely well. It won't have any issues. If you're somebody that does a lot of heavy gaming, does a lot of heavy multitasking, or just runs apps that use a lot of RAM, you will run into some problems with the Pixel 3a. You will experience some lag. Like, this is a $399 phone. We cannot forget that. There has been sacrifices made with how quick and how fast this phone can actually get. But for most people, if you took an expensive $1,000 phone and put it beside the Pixel 3a and you start opening up apps and closing apps, you really will only see a difference in about a second or two. Like, there is a difference, like, we cannot deny that, but when you actually buy and own this device, you're not gonna be doing side-by-side comparisons between a Pixel 3a and a $1,000 phone, so you won't know any different. And there's always that saying that, well, you don't know can't hurt you, and it really applies to the Pixel 3a in terms of performance. I would only say this: if you've owned or have currently owned a really fast smartphone with high-end specs and you're thinking of switching to the Pixel 3a, what you do know can hurt you because you will see a difference in performance. And there you have it. That's pretty much all the sacrifices that Google made on the Pixel 3a. Not so bad, right? And now let's talk about some things that they didn't sacrifice on. Number one is battery life. Battery life on this thing is incredible. It's a slightly bigger battery than the Pixel 3 and even the Pixel 4. And because it's consuming less power, you will theoretically have better battery life. So that's always a plus. From my experience, it's very true. I never really have problems with my phone dying at any point in the day. I'm gonna drop a link down below to a battery case that I really love using with my Pixel 3a. It's pretty much a protective case, so it'll protect your phone, but it also has a big battery hump here, and it includes a battery to recharge your phone if your Pixel 3a is running low. I love it. It saved me so much time because I'm really bad at charging my phone, and just being able to have a backup battery here on the go is a big deal, especially when it's super portable like this case. Another thing that Google didn't sacrifice on is the camera. It's the exact same camera in the Pixel 3 and a very similar camera system to the Pixel 4. You still have that same 12 megapixel camera on the back that famously shoots some of the best stills in any smartphone. You have portrait mode, you have night sight. There's really no compromises here on the Pixel 3a in terms of its camera, except for one thing really. Because of the slower processing power of this phone, when you're shooting photos in HDR or shooting night sight photos, it does take a couple of seconds for it to process. And to be honest with you, I didn't really want to say this, but I do find it kind of annoying. I just find that when you're with friends and family and you're trying to capture moments, yes, this camera can capture a beautiful moment. The problem is it just takes time for this phone to capture those moments over and over again because of the slower processing power. You have to wait a little bit. I just found it annoying, but for $399, I think we can all look past it. For video, Google didn't make any compromises per se on the Pixel 3a versus the type of video you can get on the Pixel 3 or the Pixel 4, but across all Pixel phones, video just is bleh. It's just not that good. If you love shooting video, the Pixel series of phones just isn't it. Go look at the iPhone or look at the Samsung. They have much better offerings and much bigger depth of features that you can use to shoot great video. It's not that this phone can't shoot great video. It does. Like, it can shoot 4K video. It looks beautiful. I think it looks great. It's just there's a huge scarcity in features that you have and customizable options that you have when it comes to the video camera, when every other major smartphone manufacturer seems to just give everybody all these features. So it can be a little bit frustrating when you buy this phone knowing that for very similar prices, you can get way more elsewhere. Just something that I wish Google would fix, to be honest. Overall, you get great battery life, decent performance, not the best, an amazing camera experience, and an amazing software experience. And that pretty much sums up the Google Pixel 3a in a nutshell. Like, yes, this phone doesn't have the highest resolution display. It could be better, but really, who cares? This phone, yes, it could be a faster phone. It could have more RAM, a faster Snapdragon, but really, for how most people use their phone, who cares? Actually, in fact, if you do care about having faster processing power while still staying on a budget, there are other budget phones out there in the Android world that do just that. But what makes them different is that they're compromising on other things, like the camera, the software experience might not be as good. So there's always trade-offs you're making with any budget phone you're buying. I just feel like the Pixel 3a made all the right trade-offs. And when you really break it down, all of those things I just mentioned right now, they're all bells and whistles and really provide you diminishing returns on the extra money you're spending to get them. I could end this review, but I really think this is an important thing to dive into actually right now, which is that there's another phone looming in the shadows, and that's the Pixel 4a. It's gonna have faster internals, it's gonna have the same great camera, the same great Google experience. It has a better display in my opinion. It's edge to edge, has a little bit of a hole punch notch, but I like the look better than the Pixel 3a in my opinion. And it's rumored to be coming at $399. So the exact same price as what this phone is right now. And if we take into account everything I just said, the Pixel 4a is gonna be $399. The Pixel 3a has to come down in price. So I'm thinking $349, even $299. Google has sold this phone for $299 before. And then when you combine that with what I just talked about, the difference of $100 between the Pixel 3a and the potential of a $399 Pixel 4a, that's a lot of diminishing returns on your money. Like, you're pretty much paying for just a little bit faster internals and maybe a better screen to body ratio. Besides that, you're still getting the same great camera and the same great software experience that you'd get regardless of how you spent your money. And on the other side of things, Apple just dropped the iPhone SE at $399, and you get a decent camera, a decent battery, decent performance, but most importantly, you get an iPhone. And that's what most people care about because they want access to all things Apple and that ecosystem. If you're somebody who's in the market to buy a budget phone, but you've never considered Apple because of how expensive it is, the iPhone SE is a really competitive buy versus the Pixel 3a and the looming Pixel 4a. Makes it all the more confusing in my opinion. But I'll leave you guys with this. I will give you my definitive answer. If you love Apple but just didn't have the money, go buy an iPhone. If you love the Android software experience and you had to decide between the Pixel 3a and the looming Pixel 4a, I would buy the Pixel 3a because it should be cheaper, and the differences in your experience between these two devices will be very minimal for how most people use their phone. There you have it. Pixel 3a is my recommendation for a budget smartphone in 2020. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Drop a like down below if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new, and comment down below hashtag Pixel 3a 2020 if you finished the video. Also, I'm on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. I'll drop a link down below. I don't post any dance videos or anything. I actually post all tech videos, and there's actually nobody really posting tech on TikTok right now. So if you want to follow me, I post like 2 to 3 times a day of content related to tech that I just couldn't really bring to a YouTube channel because of how bite-sized it is. But I think you guys will enjoy it. My TikTok link is down below. Show it some love. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Peace.